Hello, everyone. My name is Kara Toma, and I am the Psychosocial Services Manager here at Iowa City Hospice. I want to thank you for joining us for our now fourth virtual memorial service. We have offered these memorial services for many years, and like so many things in our lives right now, we didn't think we'd still be doing it this way, virtually, come the fall of this year. We had hoped to gather in person, to share, to embrace, to acknowledge the importance of gathering face to face. But we continue to do what is necessary to keep each other safe. For this fall memorial service, we strive to offer a sort of social and community connection, especially with like-minded folks who are all facing such a difficult challenge, grief, and the loss of a loved one. That challenge made even more difficult when having to face it during a pandemic. From one perspective, the need for connection and support is no greater than when we are grieving. We are apart, but please know that we are still present for all of you. We hope you find meaning and remembrance from our service today. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ed Moriano, a bereavement counselor here at Iowa City Hospice. I'd like to share with you some words written by Gregory Norbert. He writes, I want to say something to you who have become a part of the fabric of my life. The color and texture which you have brought into my being have become a song, and I want to sing it forever. There's an energy in all of us which makes things happen. When the paths of other persons touch ours, and we have to be there and let it happen. When the time of our particular sunset comes, our thing, our accomplishment won't really matter a great deal. But the clarity and care with which we have loved others will speak with vitality of the great gifts of life we have been for each other.
My name is Rhonda Miller, and I'm a board-certified music therapist here at Iowa City Hospice. I'll be sharing the song The Gathering of Spirits by Carrie Newcomer. Let it go, my love, my truest, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, but it's such a fine thing. There's a gathering of spirits, there's a festival of friends, and we'll take up where we left off when we all meet again. I can't explain it, I couldn't if I tried, how the only things we carry are the things we hold inside, like a day in the open, like the love we won't forget, like the laughter that we started and hasn't died down yet. Oh, let it go, my love, my truest, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, but it's such a fine thing. There's a gathering of spirits, there's a festival of friends, and we'll take up where we left off when we all meet again. Oh yeah, now didn't we? And don't we make it shine? Aren't we standing in the center of something rare and fine? Some glow like embers, like a light through colored glass. Some give it all in one great flame, throwing kisses as they pass. pass. Oh, let it go, my love, my truest, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, but it's such a fine thing. There's a gathering of spirits, there's a festival of friends, and we'll take up where we left off when we all meet again, just east of Eden. But there's heaven in our midst, and we're never really all that far from those we love and miss. Wade out in the water, there's a glory all around. The wisest say there's 1,000 ways to kneel and kiss the ground. Let it go, my love, my truest, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, but it's such a fine thing. There's a gathering of spirits, there's a festival of friends, and we'll take up where we left off when we all meet again. And we'll take up where we left off when we all meet again.
Hi, my name's Kirk Statler, and I'm one of the chaplains with Iowa City Hospice. After pastoring for about 36 years, I joined the team a year ago now, and have just loved being a part of this tremendous ministry in our community. I don't know exactly what your stomping grounds are, but I've kind of been a fan of The Lord of the Rings for a long time. Many people are. It's one of my favorite movie anthologies of all time. Not long ago, I was on a sabbatical, and I made a point to watch the entire series, the extended series, mind you, and did so over a span of 4 days. And for those of you that are wondering, it was 11.36 hours in the time. And yes, it wasn't the only thing I did. But it was fantastic to have that time, the privilege to sit down and watch that. And there was one quote that jumped out at me. It just seems so appropriate for today. And it probably always will strike me, because when I first heard it, I too was dealing with some tremendous losses in my life. And so I was probably a little more receptive to it. The quote is spoken by the gardener Sam Gamgee, if you know the series, to his beleaguered best friend Frodo Baggins, who's been on an impossible quest. At an incredibly critical moment in the final chapter of the film entitled The Return of the King, Sam declares, "Frodo, I cannot carry your burden, but I can carry you." And I thought, wow. You know, this in a nutshell is what drew me to hospice work in general and to Iowa City Hospice in particular. For here I discovered an incredible group of people who, knowing that they can't carry the actual burdens that people dealing with loss are carrying, they've committed themselves to carrying the individual, to carrying you. The people who have known, lived with, loved, and to various extents still grieve over dearly loved people that we've served together in love. Not long ago, I was invited to call upon a woman whose mother we had served before I ever joined Iowa City Hospice. She was a radiant woman, slightly younger than I am, and of a strong Jewish faith, which has always been fascinating to me. I appreciated the fact that she showed no hesitation in inviting me into her journey, in spite of knowing that I was not Jewish, or by definition, that would make me a Gentile, of course. I'll never forget a particular statement she made to me. She said, "Chaplain, as a Christian, isn't it your ultimate goal to convert me?" I chuckled and I said, "In no way. No way. That's not my job. I can't convert anyone. My goal is to love you, to serve you, to provide what you need most." And granted, I do defer to someone wiser than me, though, when it comes to knowing exactly what you might need most. I know with a certainty, friends, that each member of our Iowa City Hospice team would say something very similar to you today if we were given that privilege to talk one-on-one. Our goal is to love you, to serve you, and to do everything we can to provide you with what you need before, during, and after the steps in your journey. We, like Sam Gamgee, are privileged to help you carry you when we cannot carry your burden for you. And we also recognize that, truth be told, we don't always know what you need most, and that's why you, those who have lived with, loved, and served the precious people we remember today, are so invaluable in helping us to do what we do with excellence. I came across a couple of poems that were new to me. I toyed around with several. A couple of them would have been very quickly recognized, but I chose a couple that were new and maybe are to you. I'd just like to share them with you at this time. The first one's entitled Life Well Lived. It's a short one that reads as follows. A life well lived is a precious gift of hope and strength and grace from someone who has made our world a brighter, better place. It's filled with moments sweet and sad, with smiles and sometimes tears, with friendships formed and good times shared and laughter through the years. A life well lived is a legacy of joy and pride and pleasure, a living, lasting memory our grateful hearts will treasure. The author's unknown on that one. I couldn't find that one. This last one was a little different take, a little different perspective. It was written by a man named Henry Scott Holland, and he entitled it, Death is Nothing at All. Death is nothing at all. It does not count. You see, I've only slipped away into the next room. Nothing has really happened. Everything remains exactly as it was. I am I, and you are still you. And the old life that we lived so fondly together is untouched, unchanged. Whatever we were to each other, that we are still. So call me by the old familiar name. Speak of me in the easy way which you always used to. Put no difference into your tone. Wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes that we enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without an effort, without the ghost of a shadow upon it. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is absolute and unbroken continuity. What is this death but a negligible accident? Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am but waiting for you, for an interval, somewhere very near, just round the corner. All is well. Nothing is hurt and nothing is lost. One brief moment and all will be as it was before. How much we shall laugh at the trouble of parting when we meet again. Henry Scott Holland. There's a story of an old lamplighter in the village who each evening as dusk came would make his rounds with his ladder and his light. One by one he'd put his ladder up against a lamppost, climb up and light the lamp, and then climb back down, pick up his ladder and proceed to the next lamppost. A rather laborious effort of love. After a while he would be down the street and out of sight, but the people could always tell which way he had gone because of the lamps he had lit and the glow left behind by each. Friends, each of us leaves a similar trail. And one of the highest tributes we could ever merit would be these words, I could always tell which way they went by the light that they left behind. May we not only enjoy and cherish the light left behind by those we love, but may we also rededicate ourselves to leading a well-lit path for each of those who come after us. Thanks and God bless you.
My name is Emmy Kabla, and I will be singing Always by Irving Berlin. I'll be loving you always with a love that's true, always. When the things you've planned need a helping hand, I will understand. Always, always. Days may not be fair, always. That's when I'll be there, always. just a year, but always. Next, I will be reading the names of those whom have died that we will be remembering today. But first, in the beginning of the service, we ask you to choose a special object, photo, or other symbol that represents your special loved one. Now is the time to take out that item. Hold your item in your hands, feeling its weight. Take your time looking it over. Reflect on why this item represents your loved one to you. Smile, cry, laugh as you think about your loved one and your memories attached to them. Say your loved one's name out loud. Express any words you may have in your heart to them or about your own journey since their death. It might feel or be overwhelming. That's okay. Continue to reflect as we move forward next with the reading of the names. Larry Bartlett. Ruby Jean Barrage. Terry D. Bowman. William H. Brown. Dr. Charles DePross, MD. Joseph Ferrogi. David Frieden. John E. Grant. Alda Haravan. Verlee Alma Hogan. Martha Jean Johnston. Bob and Maggie Keating. Brad Kesey. John H. Koch. Nancy L. Lang. William Lobengair. John L. Livingston. Larry D. McGee. Pauline K. McAraby. Dr. Philip McLaughlin. Dallas Meyer. Ron Milder. Gerard Jerry Nobeling. Joan Overholser Houghton. Nancy Joe Pruis. Ron Ramsdell. Larry L. Rostasil. Dale A. Sheets. Mary Elizabeth Vilhauer. John P. Wall. Charlotte Young. We will now observe a moment of silence for any additional loved ones that you're thinking of who have died that have not been read here today.
My name is Tanya Goodburn, and I'm the bereavement coordinator. And I'll be reading We Remember. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of the summer, we remember them. In the rustling of the leaves and the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in the need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. Adapted from Jack Reimer and Sylvian D. Kamens. Thank you.